Okay, so the Delhi Capitals are liking the Kotla pitch now, aren't they? Yes, they are. They've done well today. Chose to bat, have got to 187. That means that somebody's sitting on the MPL Super Couch. We'll get to that in a second. 187 for 5 in 20 overs is where they've reached. This is MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. Very happy to say that Lisa is on the MPL Super Couch. Cut to long shot. Cut to close up, pride on face. Cut to close up quickly, there you go. Smiley face. Cut to long shot again with the couch. Like how I just am, just the conductor. Nice, yeah. Now cut to Shaun's close up looking all despondent about losing the super couch. Yeah. No, there you go. Which probably is the same expression that RCB will have after that bowling effort, won't they, Shaun?
They will. I thought they did well to fight back after we've had our chat after 10 overs. But I think their game plan was clearly wrong. And I think if they analyse things, when you've got a surface that's offering up a bit of assistance for the seamers and the ball's getting old and it's holding, when you get to the back end of an innings, you can't go just straight to Yorkers. Because they went for Yorkers and they bowled a lot of full tosses, which means the surface is actually out of play. They had to mix it up more. They had to be slow ball bumpers, hit the surface, get it to hold up, get it to do something. For a new batsman coming in, very difficult on a surface that's holding. The commentators were talking about it's just holding up a touch. I think they went to death bowling too early, and it cost them. I mean, even if you look at that last over, I think there were probably 3 or 4, 5 full tosses. So they didn't use the surface to their advantage at all. Use the conditions. They paid for. Use them. Because it might as well be a concrete surface for the amount of the performance.
I think the issue for RCB bowlers in the past is they've tried those slower balls and into the deck and things like that, and it just hasn't worked because the conditions weren't right for it. So then in their mind and in what they've probably been training for is Yorkers. How they get to conditions in Delhi where they need to go back to what they were trying before at the start of the tournament and just didn't read the situation. And Ashish Nehra, whilst he's running around the boundary trying to speak to Virat Kohli, sometimes the messages might not be getting there. So unfortunately RCB, 20 runs that last over. That's costly.
And a lot of them were, I mean, there's very little of that you saw was, just clean hitting. It was all either 4 byes or just the edge that flies over. But when you bowl full tosses, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you go analyse, just go down to the last over. The first delivery was almost a no ball that bounces before Partiv goes for 4 bars. Next one is a full toss, which is edged. And the last one was a full toss that was whacked over backward point. Even the one that was whacked to mid-wicket for a single they were checking to see whether it was too high. It's too much of a freebie. And unfortunately, when the bowlers, you have to take responsibility for your skills. And when you analyse that skill and you say to him, okay, where were you going? He'll be saying Yorker, so that's on the popping crease. If you actually analyse where the ball would have bounced, he's probably missed his mark by 5, 6, 7 metres. Which unfortunately at this level you can't afford to deal with.
And definitely not repeatedly. Let's have a look at the Delhi batting effort. My God, they were really good today. You'd have to say this is not a pitch that optimizes their strength or their skill, which sometimes is a lot of brute hitting with people like Rutherford and people like Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, of course, got out early, didn't get too many runs today, got out to Chahal. But look at this, and they have gone beyond average. If you look at the third column, Lisa, they've gone beyond average at Kotla in all 3 spells of play.
Yeah, massive difference. And we were talking the pre-show that every time they come back to Delhi, they seem to falter because they keep wanting to play the conditions that they're used to away from home. But they've been able to adapt to those conditions. They've learnt what they need to do, and they were able to execute it. And then obviously you bring Rutherford in at the back end, who just kind of adds a bit of a cherry onto the top of a really good batting effort.
Let's look at that innings progression once again and see where actually RCB had a chance to sort of pull it back. Perhaps, so at the end of 10, they were 87, Shaun, which means they've added 100 runs, and this is exactly what you said I wanted to point out, right? They've got exactly, I think they were 87, 89 perhaps, and they've added 98 or 100 runs after that. I think 11, 12 and 13 perhaps, RCB may have been trying to get back in. They got that Rishabh wicket.
I think even once you got Colin Ingram, I think after that, they showed the highlights, and I noticed KG was padded up, Rabada next to go in. So if you get one more wicket, he comes to the crease. He can strike the odd delivery, but he's not going to be consistent like what we saw there. And that was why their tactics seemed so wrong. You know, risk getting whacked out the ground with the odd slow ball. Missed time goes up in the air because the ball stops. They're not going to get it wrong when you bowl them full tosses. And if they had stuck to a different game plan, they could have picked up a wicket. And then you've got sort of one non-batter, one striker. You get the singles and keep them off strike. I think they let it slip in those last 3 or 4 overs. I think that's the key, and I think they'll live to regret it.
60 in the last 5. In terms of the batting effort, Shikhar Dhawan looked good today, Lisa.
Yeah, he seems to have really flicked the switch. We talked about the numbers at the start of the show, but
4 50s in the last 6.
He's just so consistent now. And once you have that feeling and you know what you need to do and you're able to, within probably your first few deliveries, strike it nicely, it's almost like it's a Groundhog Day for Shikhar Dhawan, and it's a good Groundhog Day, not like the movie where it was rubbish.
Yeah.
So he's now able to cash in, and he's showing what he can do at the top of the order consistently.
Also, the maturity that Shreyas is showing. Now, last day he was thrust into captaincy in the middle of the season. Gambhir sort of just gets out, leaves it. He comes in. He's a young guy. What is he, like 24 or something?
I think that's actually brought the best out of him. There's some players, when they get that leadership role, they grow up a little bit. They can't be the little kid anymore just following other people. They stand up, and that actually draws better cricket out of them. And since he's taken over, his record's pretty impressive. Like from a numbers perspective, from a batting, his average and his consistency has been really good. I've got a lot of time for him as a young captain.
Yeah, captaincy was what often, when you're just a normal player, you just think of it from your perspective, and if you get in or get out. Then when you take the responsibility of the team's performance on your shoulders, and you're looking around going, gee, I wish Shikhar would get us a 50, or I wish Pant would be more consistent. And then you actually, well, hold on, what about myself? Yeah. I also need to play my part. What's my role? And you sort of get a clear understanding about what you need to do as a player to make sure that you as a captain are successful.
Ingram hasn't got that many runs in the batting thing, and you're going, all right, it's tough when you think, all right, why is this call-in playing and not the other call-in? And the other call-in obviously likes batting up the order as well. That doesn't change. But then you're seeing a lot of other teams are putting, everyone's batted with openers because, hey, everybody wants to bat first in a T20 game, right? Let me go out first. But they are batting them at 4 or 5. If it's a class batsman, how difficult is it for him to then adjust that role?
As in
for Munro to play at 5, perhaps?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's up to the individual. And, you know, his conversations that he's having with the coaching staff. I think all players, they find it, especially the IPL, you know, if the international players, you get selected, you're normally first in you're playing 11 for your country, state or county. You come to the IPL, you could be sitting on the sidelines for a long period of time. I actually spoke to Mitch McClenaghan of Mumbai Indians because he's played the first few. I said, how are you coping? Because the last few years he's played a lot. He goes, it's very hard just sitting and waiting for your chance. So I don't know the conversations what Munro might be having. He might be saying, please pick me. I'll bat wherever you want, please.
Just bat at 9.
But you see, you go into roles, and so Munro, from what I've seen over the international span, is that he loves to walk across, whack it to the leg side, and he uses the pace on the ball. And that's where he does really good in New Zealand conditions. And then in the middle overs, it's a bit more difficult for him. But when he gets to those middle overs, he's already in. Yeah. He's been there for 20 or 30 balls. If you start there on foreign conditions where the ball's just holding up, and I think that's what's worked in Ingram's advantage, is he's a middle order batsman. I think if people weren't going so well at the top of the order, I don't think they would bat an eyelid at trying to get him up there and into the team. But Ingram's been lucky that he's the middle order guy, and they're tending to stick with him.
4 out of the 5 games played at Kotla so far have been won by the team chasing. But looking at this total, Lisa, you think about it, huh? Ain't that easy?
I don't think it's that easy. I think the pitch is going to deteriorate even more. It's a day game, so dew's not really going to set in. It might right at the back end.
Yeah.
So you would think that if Delhi Capitals get their bowlers right, they've got, you know, Sandeep has come in, so he's going to add value on those conditions. I mean, Mishra as well.
And Aksar, so they've got a spin-heavy attack today.
Yeah, so you'd expect definitely 12 overs are coming from them, and then you've got Kagisa Rabada and Ishant Sharma that are doing their job. So you've got those 5 quality bowlers, Rutherford potentially if you need to. So this is going to be a really tough chase for RCB, and if they're going to get across the line, it's going to have to be their 2 big men that do it. Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers.
And Virat is primed to do it here at Kotla. We saw his numbers earlier. He likes getting runs at Kotla. Obviously, grown up playing on this surface. He's got some support around him, and we show that. I mean, opening with Parthiv, they'll probably give Parthiv even more of a license today, saying, "Come on, boy, go and show us what you got." Just destruction. And he's actually held the batting effort together in 2 of the games for them.
Yeah, in the first 6 overs, that's basically where he looks to contribute. And then after that, he finds it a bit difficult picking up those boundaries. But the difference today is in the other games that Kohli's done so well here, it's almost like the score hasn't been the biggest score to chase, so he can take his time and knock it around. I think he's going to have to accelerate a little bit earlier. So if he gets himself in, then I'd be watching out if I was Delhi. But I still think Delhi have got this one
Delhi
sorted.
advantage?
Yep.
Yeah, because a lot depends on the power play as well, because they've got to go hard in the power play. Let's say,
hard, yeah.
where do they have to be at the end of the power play to have a sniffing chance of getting this total? Where would you like to see RCB at the end of the power play?
Well, after the stat we got the other day, can't be 3 wickets down because they might as well just wave the white flag. I think they need to be, I think between 55 and 60.
Maybe 1 wicket down.
For one maximum, yeah? 60 for one
Parthiv to get out in the 5.5 overs.
5.5. Kohli to play through?
Yeah.
Kohli to play through. Well, there you go. That's the recipe for RCB. I don't think they're listening because they're probably walking out to play right now, but you as fans know what to cheer for now. All right, but with Delhi, you feel like they've got enough on the board here, and remember what's at stake for them. If they win today, they qualify. Now, they qualify with a week of league cricket to go. This is a team that pretty much had the wooden spoon in their kitchen cabinet every year. Without fail, they didn't have to give it back. They're like, we're just going to get it back anyway, so let's just keep it. And now they're looking at that. So, high stakes for them, and for RCB, if they can't get this, then they're out of the tournament. Ooh, there's a lot of excitement today. Well, that's all we have for you on MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you at the end of the 10th over on MPL Presents Cricbuzz Combox. Lisa, you up with me for that one?
I think so.
That's it? That's you and me?
Yep.
Sorry, Polly. You know, I only work with the royalty now.
As they say,
sit on the couch.
As they say, what to do.
What to do.
What to do.
What to do. What to do. All right, we'll see you then. Take care. Thanks for watching.